brave, you're a hero, you're doing the daggone thing, but it's scary. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Shay. Thanks for sitting down with me today and getting some coffee. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Coffee Talks is a series that we do on this channel when we just have to chit chat about not only situations and things like that, but just current events and issues that are going on and things that I think will help not only myself but also people who are subscribed to me. So as most of you guys know, I am a healthcare worker, and I just kind of wanted to talk from the thought of how healthcare workers are feeling, along with giving you guys small little updates about what is currently going on in my situation as a worker with the whole thing that's going on. I'm going to try as much as I can not to say the exact word because apparently they're flagging videos, but you guys know. If you know, you know. You know what I'm talking about. So let's go ahead and get right into the talk. Grab yourself a cup of coffee. This is like, I think, the first or second time in a coffee talk that I actually have my coffee with me. And make sure you grab a cup and come sit and let's talk. Okay, so where do I even start? I guess I will kind of start as far as telling you guys what's going on, and then I'll kind of transition into what today's vibe that I'm feeling. As you guys know, these are very freelance videos. I plan the topic, but I don't exactly plan what I'm going to say. I just kind of let things flow. I think that's the best way for them to reach others along with reaching myself. So I work at 2 institutions. We're not going to get too much in detail. You'll know why later. I am taking care of patients at one institution. As far as PPE, I know that's like the biggest question people ask. We are geared up. I do feel semi-confident in what we're geared up in. Where there are, I guess, situations where there's not enough equipment, we are making up for it in different ways. So let me just tell you details. Go to work. I've been on units, taking care of positive patients, taking care of rule out patients. You guys know N95. N95, you get one. The institution gives you one for this current outbreak. You have to use it for 3 times. It is sterilized each time. We just got a message yesterday while I was at work working on this unit that process has now changed to 10 cycles. So it gets sterilized 10 cycles and then you get a new one. So N95 on. Same N95 all day. Mask over top of N95, a surgical mask. Face shield. So that's where I'm like, okay, they knew where the barriers were. So they worked to try to, accommodate. Same gown ones. We had like this raincoat type suit the other day, which I did think was very protective. It was thick. The way you put it on and take it off is very secure in your own decontamination. You don't have to worry about touching yourself after you've touched everything else. You guys all know about that. So like I mentioned, I have taken care of positive patients. They're in a negative pressure room. It's limiting your time in and out the room. So one recommendation, I don't know if anybody's talked about this, and I know it's hard when you have a patient that's super critical. And there's times when I've had to just say I can't do this. But if it's simple stuff or the patient hits the call bell, call in the room before you go in. We have phones in each room. And it's not just the call bell system. There's actual phones. And we'll dial the extension from the nurse's station. We'll see what the patient needs. And then my thing I do every time before I go in those rooms to limit my time in there, tell me what you need before I come in. So I can grab everything. I pile it up on the table outside before I get in the room. Take the stuff, go in. Get what they got to get done, things. I have had critical patients. I have had patients that had to have emergent situations. And it's tough. And I think that's where we'll kind of go ahead and transition into what I just wanted to say is a couple days ago I was on Facebook, right? And y'all know I need to stay off Facebook because that's not the place to put your emotions or to put anything out, because obviously don't go to social media if you need an outlet, because it's not the way.
Yeah.
But, and you guys know those mental health awareness posts where people ask, like, put a heart, the color of the heart or the color of the circle of how you're feeling today. So there was like happy, sad, I'm okay, blah blah blah, etc. So I just like, I knew the person and I was just like, you know, whatever, this is my feeling right now. So I put the like I'm okay symbol, and the person did write me back, and like they got me good because they were like, yeah, but it could, especially in where you work, it could be worse for you, so be grateful. And then I was like, oh, I had two emotions on this. One, I'm like, wow, this person really don't know what it feels like to be a healthcare worker right now. Like, we were just saying this at work the other day. It's, everybody thinks you are like the hero, which don't get me wrong, we're not heroes, but everybody puts you in this role. You're brave, you're a hero, you're doing the daggone thing, but it's scary. It's scary. And then my second emotion was like, okay, yeah, she's right. I do need to be grateful. But I also need people to understand that no matter where you work, this is affecting you, because people tend to think specialty wise, if you're not in ICU or ER, don't like, you ain't doing nothing. And that's not true. Us as institutions, I'm pretty sure all of you guys know, no matter where you work, they are making people come together to take care of these patients as a team. So, for instance, I got pulled to our progressive care unit. That's a downgrade from ICU to take care of patients with the outbreak. I can get pulled to ICU. We've had tons of people pulled to ICU from my floor. Remember, I work on a tele med surg neuro floor, and our floor now has a unit. So I'm just like, okay. Like, people were like, oh, you probably don't got nothing to worry about. Y'all not touching those patients. That's not true. When hospitals get outbreaks like this, there's a surge in patients. So there needs to be an allocation of the staff. So where my unit is staffed enough, they take 2 or 3 nurses, pull them to the ICU, pull them to the downgrade ICU to take care of these critical patients. So basically what I'm just trying to say, guys, is like, that post just showed me like, yeah, I need to be grateful, but also like, it's hard out here for healthcare workers, and you need to find somebody. Like, I have a friend, I have a lot of colleagues that will text me, and you know, it's a lot of things going on that we are not supposed to speak on. Like, I was very hesitant about doing this video, even talking about like our PPE and stuff, because there is stuff, you know how like, this is like a black culture thing. They say, and I don't agree with it, what happens in the house stays in the house. So if you part of this family, some crap go down in this house, there's some business stuff going down in this house, there's some money things going on in this house, when you go outside that door, you don't open your mouth, you don't say nothing. And that is, I'm not saying that organizations are telling us this, because my organization, neither one told me this, but that is the culture. We all know, like, you can't go out on Facebook and say, this is the PPE we wearing. You can't go out and say, this is how we're following these protocols. There's a social media policy for these institutions. And you think just because you're not talking about patients, you can't get in trouble. That's not true, guys. Be very, very, very careful with how you post stuff. Even for myself, I have to be, because I can be funny on social media, but it's a line. Be very careful how you post things. Don't go to Facebook to be an outlet. Don't do it, especially if it's something that's frustrating at work. You need to have a colleague, somebody that works in healthcare that you can go to and talk to. Me and my friend the other day were texting back and forth, back and forth. It's stuff we can talk about because we're both dealing with it. We're both going through with it. We both know the ins and outs. So I can tell her something, and I know it's not going to be publicized to everybody and put the company at risk. She can tell me something, frustrations, things you don't agree with, everything. We can talk to each other, and neither one of us have to worry about that information being publicized. So in all, I want to tell you guys, it's hard because not only are we dealing with, you're scared of the virus, you're scared you're going to catch it, you're scared you're going to give it to a family member, you're scared you're going to give it to somebody innocent, you're scared you're going to be an asymptomatic carrier, you're also scared that, like, your job, You have this frustration you can't let out. You can't talk to anybody about it. Nobody understands. Nobody knows what's going on, and you want to tell somebody, this is what's going on and I don't like it, or this is what I think can be done better. But if you open your mouth, you're opening yourself to some issues. So find you a colleague, somebody at work, anybody at work that you trust, that you know is not going to go back and run game and everything like that. Talk to them. I tell my coworkers, text me. I don't care if it's 12 o'clock in the morning. If you feel a certain way about what's going on at work, or just in general what's going on, people have families and stuff. People are scared. Text me, call me, DM me. You got my social medias. Do something, because you really need a support system, especially with this dark cloud that is just over everything in the midst of what's going on. So I just wanted to encourage any of you guys, whether it's healthcare, whether it's something essential. You can be a grocery store worker, you can work at Wawa, and you're feeling the tension, and you know you can't say nothing because, I mean, you can't go on social media and talk. It's the same, like, what happens here stays here. So, and I say that not to say that anything wrong is going on. It's just simple, like, you guys know etiquette. This is what's happening between us. We ain't gonna tell everybody what's happening between us, because that's not their business. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up the video, guys, but I just wanted to let you know, if you are going through any of these feelings, they are absolutely valid. They're absolutely, you know, we are aware of this, and it's not for you to feel wrong. It's not for you to feel guilty. I know one of my colleagues said she felt guilty because she really don't want to take care of anybody with this outbreak. And I said, why are you feeling guilty? You are a human. You're a human first before you're a nurse. And yeah, we're brave, and yeah, we're like frontline workers, and yeah, we're doing stuff, but it doesn't mean that our feelings aren't valid. And you can tell somebody that, and nobody's going to judge you and say, oh, you're a bad nurse, oh, you're a whack nurse, because you don't want to take care of these patients, and this is what you signed up for. No, that's not how it works. We all have valid feelings. Find yourself a colleague. If you don't want a colleague, if you don't want nobody at work to know how you're feeling, find somebody else that works in the healthcare field. They can work at a totally different organization. They can work at a different floor at the same organization. Sit down and talk to them. Text them up. Call them. My thing would probably be call, because you don't want any, like, you know, stuff in writing, but it's okay, and you need to find somebody that understands what you're going on the same page. I can come home and I can tell everybody at the house what's going on. I can tell my friends, but if they're not healthcare workers, nobody is going to understand how I feel. And I really do want to say that I do have a very supportive family and friend circle, where even though I can like sit here and ramble about these things, they will sit there and listen and be like, yeah, Shay, you right. It's valid, guys, and it's valid. Yes, we must practice gratitude. Yes, we must be grateful. We could be in somebody's bed. We could be on an event ourselves. Things like that. We could have no job. But just because we're practicing gratitude does not mean that we're not scared. Does not mean that we're not fearful. Does not mean that we're not, you know, emotional beings. So I'm going to go ahead and close the video out right here. I just want to mention, I think I mentioned this in a video previously, or maybe a video coming up. If any of you guys are healthcare workers and you feel like you can't talk to anybody around you, my email is down below. I know it says business inquiries. I don't care. My Instagram, I'll put it down here. You can DM me on Instagram. Everybody has Instagram. You can find any outlet. I can talk to you there, and if you want to call me, you can do that. But we all need somebody to lean on in this moment, and you need somebody to lean on that's going to acclimate and be like in tune with the same emotions that you're feeling. So I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in for the coffee talk. It was more of just, I don't even know, I hope this resonates to somebody. I hope this was valuable to somebody, because I sat down and I thought about this, and I was like, wow, if I did it, like, if I wasn't talking back and forth with people, I honestly don't know what I would do, because it's so much, and it's a lot that a lot of people don't understand, and we don't say it like that to make people feel bad because they're not doing it. Like, nobody should feel bad in this situation. It's just like, you guys know, every situation in life, if somebody don't go through with that situation, they cannot compare the emotions. It's hard. It's hard to even sympathize or empathize with somebody when you can't understand the emotional piece behind it. So, I will see you guys in the next video. Like I said, email me, DM me, any issues, anybody to talk to. Comment down below. You guys can use the comment box to your advantage. Just be careful. Be careful with social media, and thank you to all everyone who's essential for everything you do. It is totally appreciated.